So the New Year's coming up, and whether you set a New Year's resolution, I think it's that much more important just to have that self-awareness. Awareness of what happened, like reflection on the year. What have you accomplished? What are some good things? What are some bad things? Would you agree with that? Like, is that important?
Well, yeah, of course you got to reflect. I mean, yes, let's set some goals. I'm ready. Let's go. However, you got to take a second to also think about the things that you have accomplished, process through some of that to be able to see like, wow, I did this. I accomplished this. I obtained some kind of goal. Perhaps it wasn't the one you set last year for the New Year's resolution, but there's got to be something that you're proud of. Perhaps you're doing good at work. Perhaps you're going steady at work.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe you have a relationship. Maybe you don't. Maybe you gained a skill.
Yes,
right, this
absolutely.
year that you were practicing and you never thought maybe you'd be good at, but look at you now, right? It's so important to count those things because I think a lot of people are like, oh man, I set New Year's resolutions last year and I didn't do any of those. Okay, but what did you do? Mm-hmm. What did you do this year? And I'm sure you can come up with at least one or two things.
Made a friend.
Right. It could be very, very simple.
Absolutely.
You tried a new food that you never thought you'd try or never thought you'd like. I mean, it's down to even just the basics.
Absolutely. And from there, you can be able to sort of think, what direction do I want this year to go in? Right?
Yeah.
Don't do something that you may not be ready for. I mean, there's also, wishful thinking like, oh, I really want to do this. But truly think about if you were to come down to something more specific for you. Do you want to learn something? Do you want to try a new hobby? Not every goal has to be so intense. Mm-hmm. You can say, oh, well, I want to learn. Personally, I want to learn how to knit or crochet.
Oh, that's
because I've tried, but like my fingers don't do the thing with like they just don't position themselves correctly. So from what I was told, it's you just have to keep doing it and then eventually your hands get used to it. But I'm just like, oh my God, this is so hard.
It kind of makes me think of when I was a kid, my grandma taught me how to cross stitch. Mm-hmm. And I really would like to practice that again. I mean, I haven't done it for years, right? Mm-hmm. But that was always such a fun memory.
Dude,
right?
I didn't even think about that. I did the same thing. So it's like,
why
with those
haven't patterns and stuff like that? So,
I mean, beautiful, like works of art, with different colors. And yes, exactly. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. But that's a nice goal, because that's something you can do in small increments. Perhaps purchase your, set of whatever your, the string or...
Yeah, or the pattern or whatever it may be. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, attainable goals is everything because, okay, even if you say at a minimum, I'm going to complete one pattern this year. Mm-hmm. Okay, like that doesn't seem like a lot. It's not a big commitment and it's attainable. You most likely will be able to do that in a whole year.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Or whatever it may be that's your go-to goal, right? But...
Oh my God, I just realized I can bring up a thing that somebody... Okay, so check this out, okay? Somebody really wise told me about this idea, okay? It's called the weather blanket, right?
Okay.
So basically, every day you look at the temperature and you pick yarn on a certain, like let's say 100 to 90 Fahrenheit is going to be red, and then 90 to 80 is yellow or whatever. And then you pick your colors. So throughout the year, every day, you look at what the temperature was. Mm-hmm. And then you make a line based on that, just one stitch. Or
so
you
like
could
not
pick
even
a
pattern, but just like lines of color.
So every day it's going to take you a couple of minutes. And then by the end, I mean, you could do it by week, if you want to do more like different like squares or something. But basically you track the year and you can do it every day or you could do it once a week while you're watching TV or whatever. Yeah. But basically at the end of the year, you see this beautiful big piece of art that you've created, so I thought that was a fabulous idea and I'm so excited actually like it sparked because I mean I would want to do that. I'm nowhere near that project yet actually.
Yeah, but you're thinking about it. You're closer than you were before, right? So let's praise ourselves a little bit, but yeah, like something like that is also fun. Maybe it can help you practice that mindfulness, right? That we're always talking about, that in the moment kind of activity where you're occupied with your hands, with your brain, but also maybe sometimes can simultaneously do something else, like watch a show or something, right? You want to be able to have it be a little bit less pressured than just like
I'm going to go to the gym every day. Like, dude.
What is that? Like, it's okay, lot. Some people can do that, but it's
starting
hard.
Smaller, right? So you can, instead of going, I'm going to, go to the gym and then, taper off because life gets busy, setting a smaller goal for something like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take 2 walks a week. Mm-hmm. And if you happen to also end up at the gym at some point, awesome.
Right.
But the whole point is to encourage yourself with something that's like bite size. Like I can take 2 walks a day,
Right. Right. Or a week, you mean?
Oh, oops.
Okay, hold on.
I could take 2 walks a day. Sometimes I do. I actually love taking walks.
I know
it's
you
one of my
do,
favorite
but I just wanted
ever.
to clarify. It doesn't have to be like 2 walks a day, but like 2 walks a week, more of an attainable goal.
And being conscientious about it, right? Like, okay, when, not only do I want to take 2 walks a week, but when can I actually do it? Okay, let's see. Maybe Tuesdays, Thursdays, I have break somewhere in between my schedule, or perhaps I can during lunch split that time and let's say take a walk around my office space or whatever, and then building or the neighborhood or whatever, and then make sure that I do that every Tuesday, Thursday. And then if I can hop on a walk anytime in between, great. But otherwise, at least I'm like, I know it's attainable. I know it's possible. I didn't set a goal and didn't follow through with, is this actually possible? Because then you're setting yourself up for success.
Versus like sometimes, we tend to get kind of ahead of ourselves and say, I'm going to do this, go to the gym every day, or I'm going to eat healthy for the rest of the year. Like, okay, yeah, you probably will make those choices, but if you don't accomplish that every day, like you said you would, then you're setting yourself up for that disappointment. And then you don't want to do anything further because you're just like, I haven't done this in a week. Like, why am I even doing this? I'm just going to be done. Like, I give up with this.
Right. Which then at that point, it's like mid-February and you already like lost sight of this goal that you have, which ultimately behind all of those is wellness, right? You just want to feel better. You want to take care of yourself better. Great. Small, tiny, bite-size goals, which will eventually, and then next year you can then do the reflecting and go, you know what? Actually, most weeks I did take a walk. Like
exactly,
I did what I set out to do. And okay, cool. Now I can think, okay, do I want to be able to maybe try 3 or 4 times a week this year?
Right, exactly.
And then before you know it, you're somebody who truly prioritizes that part of your life, which is self-care. For me, at least, taking a walk is I clear my mind, or I pre-plan something that I'm working on, whether it be, like notes or whatever. I'm still kind of thinking like, okay, this is what I have to do, and it really helps me rejuvenate for the next part of my day.
Right, exactly. Or using kind of your walk to just decompress.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Just listen to some fun music or music that you like or whatever it may be, and just be able to just walk for that 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be.
And I'm moving my body.
And you're moving, exactly.
The reason this example is like super near and dear to me is because truly as therapists, we sit all day long.
All day.
I mean, once in a while, you get a chance to sort of move around, but generally you're kind of stuck in that one spot. So it's like, okay, if I don't move my body, I know I'm not going to sleep well because then I'm going to have back pain, or my body's just going to feel really stiff. I'm going to get more tired. So to me, that is a must. It's a necessity, because if I don't do it, I suffer the consequences.
Right, exactly. So again, whether we set New Year's resolutions or just attainable goals, the key here is attainable, right? You need to be able to make sure that they're small enough and attainable enough that you will be able to do it and
accomplish them successfully, right? It could be as simple as, I want to save $50 a week.
Right.
But is it in your budget to save $50 a week? That's the whole point. Because if it's not, okay, drop it to 25. Don't just immediately give up and go, oh, well, I couldn't do it. Okay, well, drop it down.
Right.
Make it less, make it $25 a week. And before you know it, you're like, wow, I saved $100 this month.
Right, exactly.